The upcoming $750,000 Munich major in Rainbow Six Siege might be the most competitive Siege event we have ever witnessed in history. I am not exaggerating. I am being dead ass honest. I think that is what I think. Now, maybe I'm too young for the rest of the Siege events here, but we just got this first day released schedule, and oh my god, it is stacked to the brim. Now, the reason I say it's the most competitive Siege event in history is because we have literally all the champions in Siege in their prime peak form. One of the very first games you see immediately pop up to you, M80 versus G2. This is a banger. Now, obviously, everyone knows Stomp was on G2, but we didn't see M80 at the last couple of events because they frauded out stage 1, okay? They fucked up stage 1. They just completely got eliminated stage 1. But who's M80? M80 is Beast Coast. My whole claim to fame, the whole reason I even have a YouTube channel in the first place is because I won that Manchester major with these players that I threw together, blah, 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 blah. They kind of, after I left, well, even when I was with them, we kind of like did like a little downpour, and then M80 bought half of their players and left the other 3 behind, and the other 3 made top 4 to SI like on unwanted, and then they came back, and now they've reunited with everyone except for Spirits. They have Kino instead, and oh my god, this stage, they look like they finally gelled. They got Fabian as their coach, who, by the way, is like probably the GOAT of Siege itself, because he has 3 hammers, 2 as a player, 1 as a coach, right? SIs. And then he got undefeated group stage in the North American League, and they also won it in the playoffs, decimating Spoit, well, not close years against Spoit, but beating them, beating SSG, beating everyone else, beating all the opposition, finally making it to an event. I am so fucking excited to see them play again. So, world champions. Like I said, this event is literally stocked to the brim with world fucking champions, all in their primes. On the other side of that matchup, everyone knows G2. Now, G2, unfortunately for them, they kind of had a little bit of a disappointing meta stage. They got second place in the groups, and they ended up getting third. They ended up getting kind of like, they got beaten by Secret for the first qualification game. They ended up making the major, had a close series against BDS, which, you know, is a lower tier team in EU, not one of the big 3, and then losing to Falcons 2-0. So they got 2-0'd by Secret, 2-0'd by Falcons, and they didn't have a flawless record. They had 2 losses in the group stage, which was a lot more disappointing than the first stage, but I still think G2 is fine. I think for any of those who are like doubting, who are hating right now, I think grand finals in your first ever stage together is a big promise. I think it's a really good sign. I think the players are still fucking amazing. I think people who are saying this is a hero play team is kind of invalid, because if you make it that far with hero plays, if you make it to first place in EU and then grand finals in EWC with hero plays, and you have 5 of the best hero players in the world, it's fine. It's fucking fine. People look at this 3rd place finish at EUL and think like, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, placing never correlates with how you do internationally. Placing never fucking correlates. Let's go to S tier tournaments. I'm gonna go a little bit of a ramble here. Let's go to S tier tournaments, and let's go by placing on who won what and what plays through it. W7M in Montreal. Let's go to the Brazil League. They were 3rd place, right? Beast Coast, we were 1st place. That is true. Let's go to a randomly different team. Let's go to when Spoit won the Berlin Major. Let's see what place he was in. Let's go to this. Let's go to European League. Ooh, he was 2nd place, right? So placing does not ever really correlate with performance in an international event. Just because you can dominate your own region doesn't mean you can dominate other regions. So that's fine. Now, I will say the only real valid criticism against G2, I think, are 2 points. One is that maybe it's a honeymoon phase. Maybe they had a really good early couple of months together, and right now they're getting through that ditch of figuring out their deeper problems, and that honeymoon phase of gelling together is going away. That's a chance, right? That's one of the valid criticisms. The other valid criticism is maybe it's the format of EWC. Maybe G2 is really good at coming at the guns blazing with this one in tournaments, and maybe at other tournaments they won't do well, because typically speaking, at least in historical terms, right, the best Siege region in the world that wins almost everything, Brazil, has done horribly at every single esports World Cup ever, right? But then they go on to all the other events that are longer, that have way drawn out Swiss and group stages, that really let teams play a shit ton of maps instead of getting eliminated in literally 1 day or 2 days in 2 games. And you really get to see who comes out on top, and those teams typically shine in those formats. So that's the 2 criticisms, but I will say I think G2 will be completely fine. Now, who am I rooting for? Obviously, I'm rooting for M80. Okay, there's a lot of fucking. There was this one hater who was like, "Oh, Fett, if your boys ever played against Spoit or stopping, you're fake, so you would never root for your boys." Have you seen me? Have you seen them play against Spoit? They played against Spoit multiple times. Have you seen what happened in those games? I'm like screaming for them. Regardless of that, I'm rooting for my boys. I do think prediction for the game though is a bit rough because M80, I know my boys, they always love to start out slow, but G2 love to start out tournaments fast. Realistically, I think G2 actually has an edge because they start out tournaments faster, but I'm rooting for M80, okay? Motherfucker, goddamn. Another reason to be hyped, this other first game, Spoit versus Shaiko. Straight up, right? Falcons, Spoit versus Shaiko. Falcons are a team that, I mean, I don't even need to explain this fucking team. Bride, Lucky Fact, Shaiko, Solotov use this. When they formed this team together, they got second place at 3 Ubisoft events in a row, and then they won EWC. That year for them was absolutely fucking insane. Let's just take a look at this year. All right? Second place, Manchester Major. First place, Esports World Cup. Second place, Montreal Major. Second place, Six Invitational 2025. That whole year. So first place, EWC. Second place at everything else. To people look at that and they're like, oh, chokers. These are chokers. They're fucking choking. But I think that's a sign of consistency. I think that's hard as fuck. You know, obviously, if they won one of those, it would be even more legacy defining. But what can you fucking do, right? Shit fucking happens, okay? I think that's absolutely insane. I think Shaiko's on a fucking different level. I think literally this is one of those teams where you look at them and you're like, who do you even replace on this team if you wanted to make a roster change and point out a problem? Because all these players are the best on their fucking role. Like, one of the best, if not the best. They got Shaiko, Lekifak, and Bride as that core French 3. They are fucking nuts. I mean, they are fucking nuts. And Shaiko is playing, not to mention, by the way, Shaiko is playing some of the best fucking Siege we've seen out of him in years. We look at the EU stats for stage 2, and this guy's literally at the top. Now, Joom had a fucking monster stage, which is nuts, but Shaiko plus 64, broke 200 kills in the regular season, 1.19 rating. This guy was dropping 20 bombs back to back to back to back to back to back. Holy shit. Shaiko's back. Like, Shaiko is fully back in his prime. He's got a chip on his fucking shoulder. He's out here to win, and he bombed out at EWC this time around to break that Saudi curse and come win events. That's where they're at right now. We got Prime Shaiko versus Prime Spoit. Oh, by the way, they won the EU League, by the way. Like, Falcons, placing never correlates. First place out of the MENA League. They beat Secret. They beat G2. They got a Solus buff, too. Like, if you watch my Solus video, first place in EU. With how you do first seed, first place, international. They look nasty. Shopify Rebellion, no need to introduce these guys. It's the American super team. Spoit, Surf, Rex, and Canadian Ampy. Spoit, no need to introduce that guy. You guys know that guy. Like #1 champ. One of the most insane players. I think it's actually insane how much better Spoit is actually getting. And he's still dropping fucking nukes every single game. I think it's insane that he's still improving. Like, Spoit's had a long career, but on this team, he's nuts. Also second rated in the league in North America, 1.14 rating. Almost broke 200 kills, but didn't actually manage to get it, plus 47. Absolutely nuts. Only outshined by my team, M80, but he's with, as you know, Ambi, the young gunner, the god, Canadian, you know, the GOAT, literal LeBron James level of accomplishment in Siege. Not the same level of scoring as LeBron James. His KD is lifetime 0.9. But remember what I told you about Canadian. He's won 3 world championships in 3 different eras with 3 different teams. The first ever SI. 3 years later, fucking SI, right? Space Station Gaming. 2 years later with Dark Zero, 2022, Charlotte Major. And that should just show you his impact. He's IGLing. He's the GOAT for that reason. And it makes Siege that good. He is, in my opinion, the greatest player of all time in Siege due to his ability to impact that many teams and his ability to show that Siege is much more than just a game. I think he still got it. A lot of people think he's washed, but they said it last time about him when he retired, and then he got on DZ, and then he won a fucking another one. I think the main story of the stage is Surf, because Surf, for a while, was a top-rated player on Shopify Rebellion. He's a support player for them, and this stage he's been going fucking disgustingly broken for them. But regardless of that, honest to God, I think that's not even the most exciting part about this event, right? Because let's look at Furia. Holy shit. If you think a team is the greatest team of all time in Rainbow Six Siege, where you have a favorite pro. Whoever the fuck you think that is, or your favorite pro thinks the greatest team of all time, without a doubt in my mind, is Furia. I would bet $100,000 against you that your favorite pro, if you ask them who is the greatest team to ever touch Rainbow Six Siege, they would say without a shadow of doubt in their mind, Furia. Furia is the team that in 1 year won every single Ubisoft official tournament back to back to back. In 2023, they won Copenhagen Major, and then they won the Atlanta Major, and then they won that following 6 Invitational 2024. If you remember Jinxie watching that bullshit 6-1 comeback from Nighthaven against FaZe Clan, that is that fucking team. Now, after that, they kind of fell off a cliff, right? Because you kind of hit that post being God state of fall off where you're like, oh, I've accomplished everything. What else do I have to do? What else do I have to prove? They kind of like fell off a little bit, right? They used to be called W7M, by the way. Like during the years they were called W7M, so it's a little bit inconsistent. They got picked up by Furia. Furia paid them more money. W7 couldn't afford to pay these guys anymore because obviously they were going to demand a shit ton of money because guess what? They fucking won everything, right? They fell off a little bit in that 2024 year after SI. They only got 5th to 8th at Manchester. They didn't even qualify for Montreal. And they got 3rd at SI, which was a bit of a bounce back, but then they did it. But then they won Reload, Chad. They won Reload. And ever since they won Reload, they have been looking as consistent as ever. First place in South America, finally beating that curse. FaZe Clan literally did not lose the Brazil League for 2 years in a row, and Furia beat them. And then not to mention that this stage of SAL, stage 2, they were undefeated for literally 8 games until they finally lost at the very end. Granted, they only played 2 maps. They literally did not drop a map until the very end, and then they ended up winning the entire league. Again, killing FaZe Clan, killing W7M. Brazil being the strongest region in Siege. Typically speaking, we'll see if that EWC has anything to say about the results. Because like I said, typically Brazil does not do well at EWC. They typically always get 3rd or 4th, because that's what they've done at the previous EWCs. The previous EWCs, they would always just do mid, right? But, you know, here, 3rd place, EWC. This is an overall league. 1st place, stage 2, going into this. They are in their peak condition. And this is what I mean, right? You have M80, undefeated stage, 1st place in their league. Former Manchester Major champions. Furia, former world champions 3 times in a row. 4 times in a row if you include Reload, despite the format of the tournament. And they also basically went undefeated and got 1st place in their league. Shaiko playing the best Siege he's ever fucking played. And not to mention the other recent world champion in our fucking books, Team Secret. Team Secret, they won EWC. They 3-0 G2. They look fucking scary. They made G2 look like a fucking cakewalk. They had a little bit of a rough start to the the European season, I'm not gonna lie. Like they started off really, really poorly. If you look at play day, what was it? 4? Secret were literally 0-3, right? Or 1-3. And even played at 4, played at 5. They started accumulating more wins after that. But like halfway into the season, they were like, oh, they were at the bottom of the leaderboard. You thought these guys, they were in last place 2 days into the season. You thought these guys were fucking washed. It made a lot of sense, right? Like they got 7-1 by Falcons and they got fucking 7-2 by G2. It really looked like they were on fraud watch and that everyone else learning their game really put them so far fucking behind into the dirt. However, they said, no. I'm not going to let you guys do that to us. They learned. They understood it now. And then they won. And then they won. And then they won. And then they won. And then they clawed their way back into the playoffs of a crazy win streak and slammed G2 again in the playoffs. Made it grand finals. Eventually ended up losing to Falcons. But I think they are fully back. Team Secret, the recent EWC champions, are also in the fray. So now we have 3 world champions, I think, in their peak form, looking as consistent and good as ever, duking it out. These are teams that have won very, very recently, by the way. Not to mention FaZe, who got second place in Brazil, but literally is the SI 2025 World Champions, beating Shaiko and BDS, if you remember that game. They also get second place in Brazil. They're super, super consistent. They have, I mean, I'm a little disappointed sometimes when I watch them play, but hey, they look fucking good. They're also in the fray right now. It's nuts. It's nuts, right? Shaiko on his prime, Spoy going Nuki with his team. You got fucking stomping, just tearing it up in EU. It's really anyone's game now. And I'm not even mentioning the wealth of other talent within this range. Like, you got SSG, which dominated in NA in that stage 1, and I think they look really, really strong. They have a really insane playstyle where they're also kind of like a really strategical sound hero play team. My only thing with them is I hope they don't like decimate their own teammates. Or not, sorry, they don't decimate their own region. They get eliminated by an external region just like last time. But hey, man, what are you going to say about it? SSG, super, super talented fucking team. Look really, really gelling together. Look really, really solid identity overall. I think they're going to catch a lot of teams off guard, as always, and take them out and go really, really far. So I'm really, really cheering for SSG. Not the same World Championship roster with 2020 from Canadian, but with call-out, I think they will always have a chance in there. Another team to look out for, W7M. This is not the old W7M with Fear, with Herds, with K's, with these insane set of players that are just, by the way, Herds and K's, like on Furia, bro, like, make a great argument for themselves for being the greatest player of all time. They broke the kill record, tied it together at that SI 2024, and that record, I believe, still stands. It's absolutely nuts, and they just carry their team every fucking game. Like, it's just crazy, and they do whatever the fuck they want. But W7M, they are the Montreal Major champions from 2024. So, again, another team that kind of beat BDS and Shaiko from that year. Damn, you got everyone from that year. You got M80 who beat BDS and Shaiko in Manchester. You got this team that beat them in Montreal, and you got this team that beat him in fucking in Boston in SI. So, shit. But yeah, W7M, they're champ. They won in Montreal, and then they also ended up picking up a monster of a player, Palu. Now, Palu's stats are absolutely fucking insane. This is 4 years ago, by the way. Like, the stats engine broke, and we don't have this anymore, chat. But Palu, without a doubt in my mind, has the highest kills and highest KD in Siege ever. Palu was the first player to ever break plus 1,000 kills in Siege. That means he had 1,000 more kills and deaths in this fucking game. Like, dead ass. And that was 4 years ago. So that's probably plus 1,500 right now. So they won the fucking major, and then they got Palu after that. So it's looking real fucking good for those guys. And not to mention, my boys on Weibo Gaming, the Asian Kings, they took down that Brazilian import team. If you watch that video, and they're here to prove themselves. I think this is one of the most stacked events in the history of Siege. Like, just no doubt in my mind. Now, I'm going to do a video covering all the individual regions, each team's individual strengths, what to know about each team. But I think I really wanted to push this narrative out first about how it's literally just this event is just stacked with just champs on champs on champs on champs, and they're all in their prime form. Like, it's every single recent world champion in their prime form, all in this one event, and it's so fucking amazing because the narrative is the young console kids stomping coming in and literally facing all of them. Like, every single day will be another Fett video. Stomping versus the SI 2025 champion. Stomping versus the Reload 25 champion. Stomping versus the Manchester 24 champion. Stomping versus the Montreal 24 champion. Stomping versus the Boston 25 champion. You know? Like, Stomping versus Spoy. Stomping versus Shaiko. It's all fucking here. It's all fucking here, chat. To kind of end it off, I guess we could go, like, we already know, like, the star players, the fucking, you know, the star players for each team that are known, right? Like, the big three S's in the league right now. But I think we really need to highlight some of the players. I'll do a better predictions video soon. But I'll do it at the end of this video too. But I think I want to talk and highlight about the players in each of these teams, specifically outside of R1. Number one for M80, I think it's easy to look at Gunner because he broke the kill record in the BO5 back in Manchester, and he was dubbed the monster, and he was my number one choice for pickup, and he's literally fucking God himself. But I think everyone forgets about Gavini. Gavin, in my mind, is the best entry fragger in the world. I am biased because he's like one of my best friends, and he's like God, and I teamed with him in T2 and went undefeated with him, and then I teamed with him in T1 and won everything with him. But there's a reason why I value him that much on the team. Gavin is the best entry fragger in the world. Gavin has unrivaled consistency. I don't think anyone fucking takes Gavin on that entry gunfight. He fucking slammed the dog shit out of every single team in those playoffs, bro. Gavin's stats in those playoffs were fucking insane. I'm gonna go check them right now. What the fuck were Gavin's stats in that playoffs, bro? Gavin's the best by far. No, I literally have no clue in my head who does a better job of genuinely walking in and taking the most immediate gunfight other than Gavin. Like, sure, other players can perform harder and shit, but like, I truly believe that Gavin is the one that fucking like just world eaters it. All right. You know, like on the entry at least. Like, everyone else is a lurk. Gavin's a fucking first entry. He walks into the fray. These 4 games, all best of 3 series. I'm not even gonna look. I haven't even looked at his stats yet. All right, these are all best of 3 series in the playoffs. He had to win 4 to get to first place. First game, who's top rated? Gavini, 1.32 rating, plus 13, plus 2 on entry. Next game, wild card. Gavini, whatever, Gunner better. Against this guy's, Gavini, the only full green player, 38-25 on 2 maps. Or 3 maps. Holy shit, almost 40 kills. Fucking taking all the first engagements in the book. Actually, no, Kino did. Never mind, I'm a fucking fraud. Either way, regardless. 38-25. Next segment, SSG. Kino, oh my god, Kino went crazy, but Gavin, again, 20-13. The consistency on this guy on entry is just genuinely insane. I need you guys watch. He's a goofy, happy-go-lucky guy, but in that server, he's a fucking killer. He is so consistent. Back at Manchester, he won, 2 clutches. He won a clutch to get us to Manchester, and then he won a clutch to win Manchester for us against fucking BDS. Like, I think, never show it on the screen if you can. First clutch was 1v2 against Dark Zero when we were down, back against the wall. Really bad half on Consulate, and then on defense, he won a 1v2, killed this replacement, and then that sparked the 6-round or 5-round comeback to win and qualify the major. And then in the finals on Cafe, we were getting dogged on by BDS. What seemed like to be the last map, and then he hit 1v2 on Wamai on rating shit him. Right? That's insane. Over here on Furia, it's just, I've already mentioned them, but Keys and fucking Herds, these guys are just genuinely fucking insane. Like I don't even know how to describe their gameplay. I don't even who was top rated. Was it Nade top rated? Like who was top rated in fucking? Let's see who's got the crazy stats coming out of SAL stage 2 right now. Let's do some little stat watching right now, even though I don't like to do it. JV92. Maybe we should highlight him. Hertz and Keys, absolutely nuts players. 2 fraggers for Furia for W7M. They've been just dropping nukes every single tournament that with them. They're just top fraggers in the world, highest numbers in the world at every single event they almost always go to. But JV92, I guess, is the breakout player of this stage. This guy, support player, he has some of the nastiest 1v4 clutches you've ever seen in your entire life. Like, when you think of support players can't shoot, this guy's the polar fucking opposite of that. JV92, he's a funny guy, too. He came up to me, and he pulled up a picture of Ken Jeong, and he was like, you look like the guy from Hangover. That was my first ever interaction with JV92. The second ever interaction with JV92 I ever had was he pulled up a carton of milk, walked up and he said, drink my milk. Yeah, he said that. Yeah, he said that to me. Live action. So second ever interaction with JV92. But funny guy, fucking disgusting. I think he's probably the Gavin of that team. He's like the happy-go-lucky Gavin of that team or something. Because that guy's just fucking out here just saying some bullshit, bro. Just saying some bullshit, clicking heads. There's probably clips of him we can find on Twitter, just him nuking teams apart. But in this BG footage for this video, absolutely insane. For FaZe, you absolutely got to look out for Cyber. Now, Cyber didn't have a good stage this stage, but Cyber is basically a 28-year-old guy, wife and kids, married, playing like he's 14 years old. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, basically, JV92, or not sorry, fucking Cyber. Well, in games, typically speaking, when you expect your young fraggers to be 16 years old to 18 years old, they're fucking running around, they're fucking, you know what I'm saying? They're sparky, they're young, they're freaky, whatever, they're crazy, they're mechanically talented. Your old guys, get on support, get on calling, get on IGL, get on shields. This guy's the polar opposite of that, bro. He is 28 years old, wife and kids, one of the oldest pros in the scene, and he has the most kills at SI right now, lifetime. And he's if it weren't for him, FaZe would be the slowest team in the world. FaZe is, the reason FaZe are not theoretically and strategically dog shit is because they have him. Because everyone else on FaZe is snail pacing. They play like Virtus Pro, but Brazilian Virtus Pro. They just don't fucking move. Nothing happens for them. And then Cyber, every round, fuck you, Maniac. Sprinting in the map. He's in there. He's fucking in there. He's fucking he's fucking in there every single time. He's just running at people, solo roaming, sprinting, going for spawn picks, going for the crazy. He breaks it open for FaZe every single time. He is the X factor. He is the 1 out of 5 for them that if he wasn't there, the team would fall apart instantly. You gotta look out for that guy almost every single time. For SSG, that whole team is playing out of their mind. Ashen right now is on Demon Time. I think he was a rookie, and they also have Newers, which is previously OXG's carry. I don't really need to explain this team. Over on Secret, though, I made that video about Mowgli, but I think a lot of people figured out Mowgli's playstyle because he was so impactful on those lurks that everyone started playing like him, and he started figuring out how he does. They figured out that he wants to die in every room, so they just get freebies on him every round. He hasn't been doing that impactfully well on this stage as a result of that. But I think with the guy that has stepped up is fucking Joom. Joom is just disgusting this stage. I don't even have words for like how Joom has been playing this stage. It's like I've been clutching 8 1vx's. 8 1vx's, chat. 8 1vx's, chat. What? This guy's fucking him. Joom has stepped up. I think right now, if you want to argue that Europe is the best region in the world from the fact that EWC was 2 European teams in the grand finals, then you can make a strong case for Joom being the best player in the fucking world right now. Like by a stretch. Like Joom is actually playing out of his fucking mind. Out of his fucking mind. Yeah, Joom is fucking playing out of his fucking mind right now. He is basically, the story of Joom is that he was basically found off of Faceit Pro League. He's like the Stewie 2K of Siege. Like, they found him off Faceit. Like, they picked up this kid off being #1 ranked Faceit and threw him in a Pro League team, and he developed over the years and years and years of training, and now he's just the best player in Europe, at least statistically speaking, right? This guy is genuinely fucking insane. Joom, absolutely demon to look out for. And other than that, I mean, everyone knows Stompin'. But not a lot of people know that Blaz has also been LeBlaz. James been going absolutely nuke this stage. Laura slowly coming back. Doki slowly coming back to team. I think they're, it's fine. People have figured out their gimmicks a little bit in Pro League, but I think internationally they'll still catch a lot of people off guard. SR, Spoit going nuclear. But I've already explained Surf and whatever the fuck's going on over there. That team Shaco's being the best player in the world. Yeah, I've already explained all of that. Predictions? Let's see. What do I predict? I think first day is always the worst day to predict because first day is usually when, like, first day jitters affect everyone. So I think safest predictions wise, if I'm thinking like first day aside, if I put aside first day jitters, I would have to go with Shopify Rebellion because I believe I believe in NA at this event. I believe in my boys. I think M80 are better than G2 in the long run. I think Furia. I think FaZe. I think Weibo Gaming. CAG is the Japanese team. They got into their grand finals of Reload. They also had the guy Black Ray, who was basically accused of kidnapping someone and beating him with a frying pan for money in game, of course, in GTA 5. And then he got acquitted. Yeah, he was rid of those crimes and he's playing with them again. EP is a Australian team, very good, and BDS is basically old Wolves roster. I think SSG win this. I think W7 win this, and I think Secret win this. This is what I think the overall strength is on average, not like over the long run of the tournament. Now, if I'm going off first day, I think the EU teams come out shooting more because that's their play style. They come out a lot less scared, and they can catch first day jitters better. I think Furia tend to lose on first day because they love starting off the tournament trolling. CAG love to CAG people, and then the rest of this probably the same. I think SSG have a good chance of a first day, and NIP also the playstyle is like a lot more unorthodox and whatever. And then I think Secret still take this regardless. So blue is going to be my first day jitters included. Pink is my overall strength, but I will do a much deeper dive into this once I understand map pools and map strengths. I'll do that. I'll do each individual regional breakdown. I'll look at their best maps. I'll look at their play styles. I'll look at what the fuck they like to do. But overall, I'll do like each individual region, and then after that, when the pickups come out, I'll actually be able to do a map bans analysis on what these teams like to play, what they don't like to play against, and we'll get a really deep look on all of that. But yeah, that's going to be it. I hope you guys are just excited for this event as I am. This is going to be, I think, a history-defining event for Siege this year. All the champions in their peak form playing absolutely insane. We rarely ever see that. We usually see champions fall off, but now everyone's playing top-level Siege again. It'll be absolutely an exciting year. So yeah, that's going to be it for me tonight, chat. I'm going to call it a day. I love you guys, and take it easy.